Netflix has hit it big with another one of its reality TV shows, thanks to its newest survival series, Outlast, but the show may be fake. The Hunger Games competition-like series places strangers in Alaska as they are forced to fend for themselves. There are no rules given by the creators, as it really was anyone's game to win. With the success of Discovery Channel's Alaskan Bush People, Netflix also wanted to break into the survivalist market. Outlast premiered all 8 of its episodes in March, with 16 contestants dropped into the extreme Alaskan wild, like on Alaskan Bush People, at the end of the fall season. The Game Master would air door packages at prefixed times to help each team: Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. While there was no set way to win the game, the participants had to follow one rule: no single player could win on their own. Everyone had to be a part of a team. With a massive cash prize of $1 million, the Lone Wolves were forced to find their pack quickly or risk being eliminated from the challenge. However, questions have been raised regarding the validity of the show's experience. 5 Outlast's production broke the third wall. The big rule of thumb when it comes to reality TV shows like Outlast is not to let the cameraman get involved. It also goes without saying that the cast shouldn't try and interact with the production crew for any reason. The participant is meant to act as if the Netflix cameras aren't even around. However, the crew on Outlast were often seen interacting with the contestants. One example showed Angie Kenai suffering from a bowel obstruction, and a field producer was caught on camera helping Angie walk to a medical boat. Another example where the Outlast production crew made a cameo was when Don Nelson and Joel Hungate were robbed of their sleeping bags in a devilish move by Alpha's team Jill Ashok, Amber Assay, and Justin Court. The 2 upset survivors commandeered the crew's GoPros, as well as their camera equipment, to learn who had stolen their items. On Survivor and The Amazing Race, the crew would never be seen going in and helping their talent figure out issues, as they are supposed to be keeping their distance. 4 Outlast contestants could be medically checked a few episodes into the first season of Outlast. It was revealed that if a contestant fell ill, they were able to go and see a medical professional without having to quit the game. In most other outdoor reality shows, participants are not granted any interaction with the outside world. If there is a medical emergency, that particular contestant is taken out of the game and loses their chance at the big prize. Jordan Williams was one of the most formidable competitors and bragged about his ex-military lifestyle. However, during his time on the show, he passed out due to hunger, and was taken away from his camp. The Outlast narrator shared that a doctor would check Jordan out, and if he was cleared, he would be allowed back to the wilderness. When Angie had her bowel obstruction, she was also given a medical check and the option to return if she was cleared. If a player were to be taken out of the Alaskan bush, it would have given them a clear advantage over their competitors since they would have been given food, water, and time to warm up their bodies. The distinct benefit clearly indicates that Outlast may not be as it seems. 3 Justin Court's Outlast scene didn't make sense. The Outlast plot was sketchy at best when the Alpha team devised the plan to raid Delta's camp across the river. But as Justin began to worm himself across the water hazard, crossing the river to sabotage Outlast Team Delta's headquarters and steal their sleeping bags, some things just didn't add up. Not only did Justin go undetected for most of his journey, but he was able to hide in plain sight when Don and Joel returned from berry picking. Another overlooked aspect was the fact that the show took place in Alaska, meaning that the contestants would still have to obey American law. Even though the show claimed there were no rules when it came to winning, Justin vandalized and stole. Just because the show took place in the middle of nowhere didn't mean that his crimes couldn't have been reported to the police, especially since there was evidence on camera. 2 Outlast's river crossings weren't cold another time when it looked like an Outlast contestant was being helped by an outside influence was on the multiple river crossings that took place. As each Survivor-like episode showed, the weather was around 32 degrees, with the water temperature averaging 41 degrees. The risk for hypothermia was high, but every time a contestant came out of the water, they weren't shivering and made it back to camp in time to get warm. Even the 4 teams' firewood looked a bit odd, as most pieces seemed to be straight cuts made by a power saw. As a fan favorite, Javier Colon stated in the first episode that much of the wood would have been too wet to burn, since this part of Alaska is a living rainforest. At the time, Javier also explained that the reason behind the immense amount of smoke was due to the dampness of the wood. Right before Javier was eliminated, he burned down his own wooden camp, which suggested that production once again helped him ignite it. One Jill Ashok hints Outlast is fake. Jill, the queen of mean on Outlast who led the Alpha team to turn the game on its head, recently posted about how much the show was scripted. During her time on the show, she and Amber became extremely close, with Jill ultimately choosing not to betray her new friend. However, Jill recently claimed on her Instagram that the crew didn't show half of the footage that would have revealed the true story. Whether it is scripted or unscripted, Netflix's new series Outlast is definitely entertaining, as all 8 episodes are available to stream. Source: Jill Ashok, Instagram.
Love in a modern world is fake when love was meant for joy too. When I find you, I realize that somehow we lie. Love in the modern world, it is fake when love was meant for